Hello! It's been a wee while since we've been able to update you. Now you remember we got off to a fantastic start in the spring and into the summer. We were going great guns, and then at the beginning of July we started to hit some obstacles, which was to be expected. We're a brand new organisation. I've only been running 7 months, but it was almost as if we hit one obstacle and we were just getting that one cleared, and we hit another one, and there was a lot that we would like to have updated you on, but there were challenges, there were delays, and we weren't quite able to get to that stage. So today is about updating you on everything that's been going on since then. So the first thing that we're really pleased about is we have adopted the land that the project sits on. So it now belongs to, well, it belongs to the charity Nurtured by Nature, but that in turn means it belongs to our community, which is fabulous. We're really, really pleased about that. And we also have this. Yes, indeedy. We were, a motion was put to the Parliament to congratulate us on receiving funding from the National Lottery and for the work that this project is doing. So, excellent news. Now, you might wonder where I am at this very moment. So, come with me and let me show you. One of the big developments that is part of the reason that it's taken so long to be able to update you. The focus has kind of gone off the growing for a little bit to provide the conditions that mean we can continue to grow throughout the year. So let's have a look. Meet Miss Polly, our polycrab. She's 6 metres by 3 metres. We still have this corner to finish. We've still got some stuff lying about here, but I'll just take you for a walk round so you can see all our beds. These are our tomatoes that we're trying to ripen before the end of the season. I don't know if we'll get there or not. These are still empty because we have quite a few beds in here. We planted some carrots, and I think, oh, could those be the first carrots? Possibly. So part of our experiment was to see what we could continue to grow over the winter. These are cabbages, and so are these. This is broccoli, and we have some sprouts. So these are purple sprouts, and these are ordinary green sprouts. And we have another empty bed, and then here we have some pak choy and chard to see how that will go in here over the winter. Now in our middle beds, in here, these are red cabbages. These were lettuces, but we had a disaster with strulch. Tiny, tiny seedlings in strulch don't get along. They need to be a bit more established. So we'll put some more lettuces in. These, I can't wait to see how these turn out. These are purple cauliflowers. Yeah. And these are just your ordinary cauliflowers. Now I'd like you to meet our latest team member. She only joined us a week ago. Miss Polly's Dolly, who is here keeping guard on the crub. So let's take a walk around and I'll show you what we've all been up to. When you come out of Miss Polly, the first thing we have here is our potting bench, or potting bay, built by the incredible Pauline and Gillian. This is an area where we can do all our potting up, weather permitting, because look at the view. So what a nice place to just sit and pot things up. Now, as you can see, we still have a bit of a building site going on because we will have a shed going in here on Wednesday, and then we're going to make our market area between the potting bay and the shed. So this is a bit of a mess at the minute, but we're gradually getting it cleared up. So to let you see there is Miss Polly at the end of the project. And we'll put this seating area here. We will have another one at the other end, but we want people to feel comfortable coming in here to just come for a chat and you know, come and see the plants and get their food. Now along here we have built a 3-stage compost station, which has actually been really handy. We have some compost in here to go in, as you can see, but we need to chop it up. And we will be putting our wormery or wormeries at the end here, where these boxes are at the minute, courtesy of McSense, who gave us some funding for the wormery and the worms. Imagine asking for funding for worms, but we did. So swinging around, again, you can see we've got a lot of work to do here. I'll take you down there in a minute. This is our other seating area here. Plus we have our bench over here. And then many are going to be the strawberries next year. So I'll start with these ones down here. These were the ones that were in my garden this year. It is the 2nd of November and we have strawberries in flower. We actually have strawberries. November. Okay. Apples from our apple trees, which did really well this year, these little ones. Now I'm going to take it up onto the next level. I don't remember if we had our staircase in last time, but anyway, we have our staircase now. And in this side, we have some strawberries and jasmine. And in the other side, we have some strawberries and winter jasmine. So along this entire wall, literally from one end to the other, this is going to be a strawberry wall. All the way along the top edge of this project, separating the top section from the bottom section with strawberries. Now you can see we've still got to get these filled and lined and what have you. We have done some planting up here. There's not much to see, but just to give you an idea. So in this bed here, we have some chard, but in the rows in between, if you can see, in each row in between, we have onions for next year. So we thought we'd get them started off. Same with this bed here. So this one is pak choi, and again, with the rows in between, planted with onions for next year. So you'll remember, I hope, this is what the top section looks like at the minute, and we are planning to get some more beds in up here as well. And then when you turn around, you see the next section, which is what we're now calling the middle section. All the way down to the gate. Okay, so I'll take you down to the bottom section to give you an idea of what we're trying to do here. So we have started in this bottom section putting in our planters. And you can see just how much we're going to be able to do in this bottom section. Lots and lots of planters, but a lot of work because we need to get them all lined and filled. We've got masses of chips here that are going up where we're going to have the market. Another little seating area here, which will get sorted out when we get a chance. And then just to take you back up to where the shed's going to be, we did have fixings, latches planned for the gates, but we're having a little bit of a rethink on how we're going to do that at the minute. So we'll get around to that. And then again, some more mess But along here, along the back of the compost bays, we have put all or some of our berry bushes. So can you imagine, by this time next year, the back of these will all be covered in tayberries and loganberries and blackberries and blackcurrants and raspberries, all around these benches to cover them up. So yeah, there's still work to be done, still a lot of work to be done, but we are making progress, and it's just a shame that the focus did have to come off the growing for a bit, but all is not lost, and let me show you why. We also have all of this rubbish to be taken to the skip, but come back into my garden with me for a minute, because things have changed here as well. So on the end of the sastrugi here, we now have vertical strawberry growing, as well as some still on the ground at the bottom here. But we've cleared out most of the rubbish that was living in here really since the beginning of the project, and we've brought all the fruit trees over here because they did not do well on the project. So what we're going to do is we're going to pot them all up. They all need to go into bigger pots. We're going to pot them all up, and then they're going to live in here because it's quite sheltered in here. As you can see, we've got the trees, and then we have the window wall, and then the sastrugi, and then if you come full circle, they're also protected by the crubs. So the crubs are named. This one is called Crub Tree because, yeah, nearest the trees. This one is called Crub Gate. Bet you can't guess. Bet you can't guess. Yeah, because it's nearest the gate. Okay, so let's go and have a look at what's happening in the crubs now. So last time we were here, it was all tomatoes and melons and cucumbers. And now we have, well, these are our golden berries, are still going. And along the front here are some garlic that came up, and I don't know why, because I don't remember putting it in there. So now in here we have brassicas, we have cabbages, sprouts, cauliflowers, lettuce, more sprouts I think, and some broccoli dotted about. Now, they might come to nothing. They might come to nothing, but we put them in anyway, just to see what might happen in here. I did put some potatoes in here, but I don't think they're going to come to anything. Too late. Too cold. We got lots and lots and lots of seeds from the marigolds, so we'll be planting more of them next year. And then again, some more golden berries just hanging on there at the end of the season. And in the other crub, and you probably remember, this crub was absolutely stacked with tomatoes. They were everywhere. Oops. So again, we've gone with the brassicas, just to see if we can get anything happening with them at all. So pretty much all the way around. But here is another experiment. I saw that chili peppers and sweet peppers can be grown as perennials. So what I've done is I've created this little greenhouse within a greenhouse and put the peppers in here, along with the chili peppers, sorry, but we didn't have a sweet pepper strong enough to try this with, but the chilies seem to have done quite well. So can you see this little one down here? Little yellow one down there. So these have done quite well, and we're just going to try this as an experiment. I've also put 2 of the strongest golden berries in here, just to see if we can keep them going over the winter and maybe plant them directly into the crubs next year. So that's our little experiment for the chilies, and we'll just have to see how we got on with that. Oh yeah, we brought all the blueberries over as well because they really don't like the wind. So we'll have like a circle of blueberries in the middle. And some more strawberries, look at that. How many strawberries? Okay, so here on my doorstep, I have a bunch of little herbs that have just been sitting here, basically, for a few months, and they all seem to be perfectly happy. They seem to like living here. And I have to show you, because this is our baby olive tree. Can you see? On our baby olive tree, we have a single olive. Now, that olive tree was bought on the 14th of April 2024. Just 2 weeks later, and look at the difference. So the first thing, we have our trellis on the potting bay, and directly behind we have our shed. We managed to get all the chips moved and up to create our little area here, and this will be our little market area and where we'll do our workshops eventually when we get to that stage. Yeah, we did actually roll that big reel up from the other side of the garden. So yes, progress has been made. Because there is a dip in this corner, we've fenced off so that nobody falls down. Again, that was thanks to Pauline. So it's fenced off along here, and we've kept that going with these planters along here, because doing what we can with what we have right now, we have made some real progress on this bottom area. So we've cardboarded all the ground, and we've put in as many of the planters as we could, as you can see, which is quite a lot of planters, all the way up to here. So yeah, that's a lot of planters. So that's the progress in just 2 weeks. Ice, can you see it? We have a sheet of ice in the wheelbarrow. And one last thing. This is an experiment that I thought had failed. And to my delight, a few days ago, these appeared. Look, we have mushrooms just about ready to pick. So that was a really successful experiment. So that's our update so far. But just because it's mid-November and things are starting to freeze doesn't mean the growing is over for this year. In our next update, I'm going to be showing you some of our other little growing experiments taking us into the winter. So we'll see you again soon. Bye.
1, 2, 3, 4.